So you want to run a highly successful coaching business, am I right? Yeah, I do. But right now, you probably have no idea what to do. You're not sure how to spend your time, and maybe you're even running your business like you're still an employee. Yeah. Is there something wrong with that? You know that you are a talented coach and that you have this incredible ability to help people, but maybe you're just not sure how to move forward in your business. How did you know? I'm so stuck. But if you can't get your shit together, you're gonna have a hard time attracting the clients that you want to serve, increasing your revenue, and having your business for the long term. OMG, what should I do? So it's time to start taking your business seriously and stop treating it like a hobby. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the top habits that all successful coaches embody. As a coach, having a plan is super essential to your productivity. So habit number 1 is planning. Now, if you don't have a plan, what you'll do is you'll find yourself sitting at your desk, staring blankly and thinking, well, what should I be doing right now? And obviously time is a very limited resource. We can't get more of it. So you need to spend your time wisely, which means you need to know what you're doing when you sit down at your computer. You need to have a plan. Yeah, so what should I be doing right now? I guess I'll check my email. I'll check it again. Oh, what's going on in my email? So planning doesn't have to take much time. Just plan to set aside maybe 20 or 30 minutes, maybe on a Thursday, a Friday, even on the weekend, to sit down and look at your next week and determine what are my priorities and what should I actually be working on. That means on Monday, when you sit down, you know exactly what you're working on. So what do you use to plan your week? So this is what my process looks like. I actually use Google Calendar. It's my favorite calendar app, and I sit down at it on a Thursday. I look at the following week and I look at the time that I have available. Then I look at my top 1 to 2 priorities. Maybe it's a launch coming up, maybe it's that I need to create content for the next month, something like that. And then I break down the individual tasks that I'm going to need to do to achieve that priority. Then I literally time block them into my next week. So when I sit down at my computer, the first thing I always do is I open my Google Calendar, and then I know exactly what I need to work on. And that way, I'm not staring at my computer blankly, wondering what the hell I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm working on, and I use my time wisely. What should I be working on? Oh, right, my main priority is getting my email funnel set up. So I gotta start working on my freebie. Okay, cool, I'm gonna get to work on that. The most successful coaches actually know their audience better than their audience knows themselves. And that makes habit number 2 market research. The only way for you to actually craft a message that aligns with your target audience is to interact with them and learn as much about them as possible. You can't make any assumptions about your audience or you're going to miss the mark. You actually have to interact with them. You have to talk with them. I already know my clients, so market research, probably don't need it. Cool, so tell me a little bit more about them. Well, they're women who just need a lot of emotional support. Well, that's not that specific. It doesn't really say much, so can you tell me a little bit more? That's it. So even though I've been in business for over 8 years, I still do market research on the regular. Every year I do 5 to 10 market research interviews because I want to make sure that my messaging is still relevant and it still connects with my target audience. So how do you do it? So what you want to do is learn as much about them as possible. Ask them about their struggles, their desires, what they ultimately want for their health, basically any information you can get about them. And most importantly, ask them what a program would need to look like and what it would need to include in order for them to invest something like $1,500 or whatever price point you want to charge. I have to do all of that? Yes. And like I said, this is ongoing. This is not just a one-time thing. I mentioned this before, but I do these market research interviews annually, and I'm in a constant state of interacting with my audience and listening to my clients so that I know my messaging is always on point. So if social media marketing is your only strategy to market your business, then it actually might take you a really long time to grow your audience. It's really hard to keep up with the social media algorithm. Also, they tend to favor the bigger accounts. And so that's why habit number 3 is collaboration. So a way that you can actually grow your audience more quickly is to collaborate with other coaches or experts or practitioners who have similar niches to your own. So for example, you could be a guest on their podcast. You could do a dual Instagram or Facebook Live. You could write a guest blog post. But what this does is it helps you cross-pollinate audiences and also helps you gain access to an audience that you wouldn't otherwise have access to, who hopefully contains all your ideal clients in it. But who would want to collaborate with me? I'm kind of not a big deal. So everyone needs to start somewhere. And the goal right off the bat isn't to try to get on Ben Greenfield's or Dave Asprey's podcast. So your goal is to find someone else who has a similar audience size. And then you can pitch bigger shows, bigger blogs as you grow. Okay, makes sense? So who should I be reaching out to? So you want to look for other coaches or practitioners or experts who have similar but non-competing niches. So for example, let's say you serve women over 40 who have thyroid issues. Maybe there's a yoga teacher who also serves middle-aged women, and potentially your audience would be in their audience. That would actually be a great collaboration because, again, the niche is similar, but it's non-competing because you offer different things. The next habit is one that you probably don't want to do, and that is selling. A lot of coaches are afraid to sell, but obviously making sales is what you need to do to have a successful business. You need to get into the mindset of trying to sell all the time. Money, 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 money. You, my friend, are a business, and businesses sell. So it's really, really important that everything you do online either directly or indirectly sells your program. So you, my friend, need to get into the habit of selling every single time you show up in line in your content or whatever you're doing for your marketing. Yeah, selling kind of gives me weird tingles, and honestly, I think it kind of pushes people away. Why do you think that? Well, because it kind of just turns people off. I mean, it turns me off. Got it. Now, let me ask you this question. Does Target sell all the time? Well, yeah, they're a business. What do you mean? Well, wouldn't it be weird if you went into Target and they were just like, oh, hey, I'm just your friend, I'm chill, I'm cool, let's just hang out, here's a cup of coffee, let's get to know each other. And then you were like, okay, yeah, cool, Target's cool. And then all of a sudden they were like, buy this bikini. You'd be like, whoa, where did that come from? It'd be creepy, right? Yeah, that would be weird. So coming back to being a business, businesses sell, and you wouldn't expect Target to do anything but sell. So when you pretend not to sell and then say, oh, hey, actually I got this program, it actually kind of freaks people out. So I'm not saying that you need to aggressively shove your program down people's throats. What I'm saying is you need to actually be constantly talking about your program, mentioning it, pumping it up, and showing people how they can actually enroll in it. Otherwise, they will not know you have something to sell. And if they don't know you have something to sell, they are not going to buy it. I've actually never thought about it that way. It's a good point. So every single one of your social media posts or pieces of content when you show up online should do one of three things. It should sell your program, mention your program, or drive them to a free resource that gets them on your email list where you can sell them into your program. So having more success in your business really comes down to the habits that you ultimately embrace. So it's really, really important to learn how to plan out your week so you always know what you're doing. You want to make sure you're constantly in a state of market research. You want to make sure that you learn how to collaborate and cross-pollinate your audience with other people with similar niches. And then finally, you want to sell all the time. You got to be the biggest ambassador for your program, and your audience needs to know it. Now, habits aside, I know that you're probably struggling to get clients. So if you want to get my little mini video on 15 proven places to find clients online, I will link to that in the description below this video so that you can get that for free. So now that you are building the habits to be a more successful coach, the next step is to learn how to actually stand out online. There are so many different options that your potential clients can choose from. So the question is, why would they work with you? So in this next video, I'm going to show you the best steps you can take to stand out online so that you really stand out among the competition and people are begging to work with you.